Manchester United make 3-year contract offer to Adrian Rabiot, another new bid for Mason Greenwood, plus also the latest on Matthias de Ligt, Sergio Reguilon, Erik ten Hag and Donny van de Beek. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this afternoon's show. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 500 likes on this afternoon's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. UK time. So make sure you get involved for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Okay, let's start the show off by talking about Donny van de Beek. This is coming out from the Manchester Evening News, and they are reporting that Manchester United are now actively working on a permanent exit for Donny van de Beek this summer, with the midfielder keen for a fresh start after 4 years at Manchester United. It says United want to recoup as much of the fee they paid to Ajax for Donny van de Beek and won't let him leave for free, but his contract situation is putting off potential clubs. Now, this is the same with most of our players. We've got lots of players that teams are interested in, okay? But effectively, no one wants to pay their wages. That's the problem. Donny van de Beek has barely played any football for Manchester United. It clearly hasn't worked, has it? It's been an absolute disaster, to be honest, which is obviously frustrating, but it is what it is, isn't it? Donny van de Beek at Manchester United currently earns £120,000 per week. Let that sink in. When was the last time you saw Donny van de Beek in a United shirt? I honestly can't remember. So there is clubs out there who are interested in him, but no one wants to pay his wages, which leaves us in an impossible situation because the only way that we can probably get rid of him is if we let him go for nothing, but Manchester United don't want to let him go for nothing. So it's, there's no right answer here. I would hope that maybe you could get a couple of million for him. Like, I'm literally talking a couple of million because, as I said, no one's going to want to pay his wages. The only way they will is if his wage is somehow subsidized by the transfer fee, if that makes sense. Donny just needs to be moved on. There's no point having him hanging around. He's not going to be part of the team. Erik ten Hag clearly doesn't want him. Ineos don't want him. It's a difficult one, but he's one of the people who Man United are now actively looking for an exit route for. Moving on from Donny van de Beek, I wanted to talk a little bit about Erik ten Hag's new contract. So for anybody who's unaware, obviously Erik ten Hag has just been announced properly that he has extended his deal. Now, really, really focus on the words I'm using here. Erik ten Hag has not signed a new contract. He has triggered his 1-year extension. So he currently has 1 year left of his current deal with the option of an extra year. This is quite clever by Ineos because a lot of people are sat at home saying, oh, Erik ten Hag's got a new contract. Great, this is amazing. He hasn't got a new contract. It's exactly the same contract he had before on the same wages, the same terms, so he's got just as much involvement in transfers. The only difference is that Manchester United have triggered his 1 year extension. So he's here for 2 years when his contract says 1 year, but it's not a new contract. And I don't actually think they're giving him a vote of confidence, to be honest with you. And I don't mean to be negative, but they're giving him as little as he can possibly get, realistically. So what does this mean for Erik ten Hag going forward? I hope he does well. I hope he succeeds. And I hope he's here for many, many years to come. But if he doesn't, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Ineos look for a new manager. Like, maybe not next season, but, the year after. They've done it in the cheapest possible way they can. They've not given him a new contract. They've just extended his current deal by triggering the 1 year extension. So it's quite clever, though, by Ineos, because I think a lot of people will see this as Erik ten Hag's got a new contract. This is all positive. The mood's great. Blah, blah, blah. But in reality, they've given him as little as they possibly can, except for sacking him. And a vote of confidence would be giving him a 4-year contract or a 5-year contract or even a 3-year contract. They've just extended his contract by 1 year, which was already in his contract already. So, yeah, I'd be interested to see what you guys think about that one. Let me know in the comments section. Do you think they have backed Erik ten Hag? Do you think they've given him a vote of confidence? Or do you think they've just kind of done the very bare minimum? I'll be honest, I think they've done the bare minimum, but 2 years is probably long enough. If he fails after another year, then maybe you do look to move him on. 4 years at the club, if we're not, in the top 4 competing, then I think people will be probably asking for him to be sacked. So, yeah, I don't think they've backed him, but maybe it's the right decision. We'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Okay, let's move on to Adrian Rabiot. So this is coming out from a very reliable French journalist, and they are reporting that apparently Manchester United have just made a 3-year contract offer to Adrian Rabiot. it says on the French side, in addition to other Premier League clubs, there is also Real Madrid who have shown interest. So we'll wait and see what happens with this one. Manchester United obviously tried to sign Adrien Rabiot last summer. They didn't manage to get a deal over the line. They couldn't agree on wages. They couldn't agree on agent commissions and signing on fees. He still has the same agent, who is his mother, who is notoriously difficult to deal with. We know that he's going to want a big signing on fee. We know that he's going to want big wages. To what extent, I don't know. Obviously, that's kind of secret information at the moment. What I can tell you is that Adrien Rabiot currently earns $150,000 a week at Juventus. So I imagine he'll probably want a little bit more than that if he's going to come to United, because, you know, players are greedy. They want more money. So if we could get Rabiot for 200k a week on a 3-year contract, I would probably do it. I think he's a decent player. Obviously, he starts for France in the Euros ahead of people like Tchouaméni and Camavinga. Like, he is a good player. He's experienced. He's proven that at the top level for very many years. He's a World Cup winner, etc. But we'd have to make sure that we aren't giving him too much. 200k a week would be the absolute maximum I'd be offering Adrien Rabiot. This story doesn't say how much we've offered him in wages, but I would be very surprised if Manchester United are offering him anything more than 200,000 a week. Like, that should be the absolute max. That would still be 50 grand a week more than what he's earning at Juventus at the moment. But obviously, let me know in the comment section, how much do you think Adrien Rabiot would deserve if he came to Manchester United per week? And yeah, would you like to see him? What do you think of Rabiot? Would you like to see him at United? Everyone who's just joined the video, if you could do me a small favour and smash a like, that would be really, really appreciated. I've set a likes target of 500. If everybody who's watching the video right now hits the like button, we will hit that target and I will be a very happy man. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. We're only 2 subscribers away from 25,700. So if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe. It's completely free content. It doesn't cost you any money. So yeah, please like and subscribe. That could be your... Obviously, if you don't enjoy the content, then don't. But if you are enjoying it, get involved. Everyone is welcome. Okay, let's move on from that, though, and let's move over to Matthijs de Ligt. I've got a bit of an update on the contract that has been offered to Matthijs de Ligt. So at Bayern Munich at the moment, he's currently earning 15 million euros per year, which is a hell of a lot of money. But Manchester United have apparently offered him 12 million euros per year, which is about 250,000 euros a week, or £200,000 per week. So about £100,000 per week less than what he's currently earning. And apparently he is willing to take the pay cut. He wants to join Manchester United. So it looks like this deal will happen. The information I was given earlier on today is that this deal will be concluded once the Netherlands are either out of the Euros or they've won the Euros. The latest date that this can possibly be is, I believe, the 15th of July. That's when the Euros final is. Sorry, the 14th of July, a week on Sunday. So between now and next Sunday, by next Sunday, we should have Matthijs de Ligt as our first summer signing. And my expectation is that Joshua Zirkzee will also follow at the same time. So we probably could do a double Dutch deal there. Joshua Zirkzee, Matthijs de Ligt, both to join Manchester United once the Netherlands' involvement in the Euros is finished, which, as I said, they might get knocked out in the next round. They might get knocked out in the semis. But the very, very latest will be the 14th of July, which is when the final is. I don't think they'll get there personally, but obviously we'll wait and see. So that's the update on that one. It's really refreshing, actually, to see a player who actually wants to join Manchester United, who's willing to take a pay cut to come to Manchester United. So I'm really, really happy about that. I've got zero issues with giving him 200k a week. I think he deserves that. I think he's worth that. And I think, the £34 million transfer fee that's being reported is completely fair. When you compare that to Jared Branthwaite, who Everton wants 70 million for, that's half the amount. It's like light and day. I think it's an absolute no-brainer, and it's really, really clever business from Manchester United, because if this transfer works, it's an absolute bargain. If it doesn't, then fine. But, we can talk about that then, but I think it will work. The final story I've got for you is on Mason Greenwood. Obviously, we spoke about Lazio and Marseille putting in bids in the last I think it was in the show this morning, wasn't it? But there's a new story coming out via Manchester Evening News saying that apparently Lazio have just submitted a new offer for Mason Greenwood of 25 million euros. Apparently Manchester United are looking for at least 30, but there is now an understanding that they think a deal will get done. And it says that apparently Manchester United want the deal concluded by July the 8th, which is on Monday. The reason for this is because Manchester United are due back in training on Monday. So Manchester United want this deal done before that, because if it isn't, Manchester United legally will have to provide training for Mason Greenwood. So Mason Greenwood would be back in first team training, or maybe with the reserves. I don't know the exact ins and outs of it, but Manchester United legally would have to provide training to Mason Greenwood by Monday. So there is an understanding between the two parties to get this deal done. And I'm confident that Mason Greenwood will be gone by next week, I reckon, because, as I said, because of the training thing. Obviously, you can let me know in the comment section how much you think Greenwood's worth and whether you want him to leave or not. I'm going to wrap the video up here. It was just a short one to bring you a bit of an update. I'll be back live at 6 p.m. for a longer live show. Please make sure to smash a like on the video before you go. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get all your comments in below on everything we've discussed, and I'll speak to you all at 6 p.m. UK time. Bye for now.